Hello all, welcome to Tech Research. In this video, we will discuss about a very popular interview question which is asked to the designers and architects that how can you design a unique ID sequencer? You know that in a system which is distributed, right? There would be millions of events happening per second or maybe in a given time frame. And it is really important to have mechanism by which we can distinguish these events from each other, right? For example, if we see the Facebook or Twitter, they will be having a lot of posts or tweets coming per seconds, and it is really important to distinguish the post and the comments on them uniquely, right? So that we can track and find relationship between those comments and posts as well. So basically, the requirement normally interviewer will ask you that we need a way by which we want to create a sequencer or unique ID creator that can be assigned to each event so that we can distinguish each event separately. And also, the unique ID, right? It's also very critical in terms of debugging because if there are some issues and you know that issues are bound to come, you have to basically drill down to the particular event or particular issue, right? So you need the unique ID so that you can distinguish it from a system, understand what went wrong, right? So you can start once you are being asked to design this system, first step is to ask that requirements, right? What requirements you need to fulfill? So the main requirement or the main heading is that we have to design a unique ID sequencer. Then, if you want to drill down that what other properties or the features you want to be have in your application, right? That those should be like uniqueness is a very important or key thing here, right? Because for every event you have to assign a unique ID, because if IDs will collide with each other, then you cannot distinguish, right? Suppose you assign same ID to two events, right? So in that case, we can't distinguish both events separately, right? So second thing is that scalability, because if system is distributed, uh, so you will be having like multiple servers or load balancers, right? And also when there is a more load onto your application, maybe because of some occasional spikes in traffic, so also be able to scale your application, right? So that you are able to cater to the more and more customers. So scalability is also very important requirement in on almost all questions, all design systems questions, right? Then availability, definitely that you want to make sure that your system is always available, always very highly available. It should not happen that it goes down and you are not able to process a request from the customer. Then we also want that whatever IDs we are generating, they should be a 64-bit numeric ID, right? And I mean, it's like a requirement in the sense that we have to have a system that generates enough unique IDs that can be catered to a long amount of time, right? Because if you run a system that has very limitations in terms of number of unique IDs it can generate, so in maybe in some in very less time, right? That might get exhausted. So we have to make sure that whatever system we develop, that will be keep creating the unique IDs for a very long time. Okay. So for that, let's see like how 64-bit numeric ID will fit the bill, right? You can see the calculation here. that if we take the 64-bit numeric ID, so the numbers which are available are 2 power 64, right? And that gives you this much number, big number, right? And even if your system is very busy system like Facebook or maybe Twitter, right? And every day you are going to generate the 1 billion events, even right? Even then, you will in 1 year you will basically having the events this much, right? 3 to power 9, right? So now we have these many events happening uh, per year if we have the 1 billion events per day. So if we choose that our system is generating 64-bit numeric ID, divide this number, then you find, okay, for our system will be able to cater to this many years. I mean, it's a very large number. I can't even, I don't want to pronounce the how many years, but you can see that these are the number of years for which you will be able to generate unique ID. So it is like self-explanatory that if we choose the 64-bit unique ID um, length, then we'll be having the enough sequential IDs for a very long time, right? So now, after we understood the requirements, we have, if we have any questions, we can ask to our interviewer. Because see, you have to ask questions and also try to engage him or her so that it becomes a really engaging solution. And sometimes also they give you some hints as well, right? So now we have a requirement ready from the interviewer. Now let's see what are the various options we have in terms of generating these sequence IDs. So first solution is basically use the UUIDs. That is the universally unique IDs, right? It is a 128-bit number that can be basically emitted or generated by every web server. So you can see here, right, that we have a clients, and they are like generating many events, and then every web server, because system is distributed, so every web server is generating its own unique IDs, and that's a function they have inbuilt. So that can be utilized also. So suppose one request goes to the web server one, it can generate a unique ID and assign to that event. Similarly, other server can do same stuff, right? So this is the one way to generate the unique IDs and use them to distinguish the various events. But there are some cons with this approach, such that like if you because you are there is no coordination, right? Because every web server is generating its own unique ID, right? So that's why they, I mean, IDs are not unique as such. I mean, because it is like a very big number, so there is a very less probability of collision. But theoretically, we can say that IDs are not unique, right? So there's a little chance of collision. And also because we are using the 128 bit number, so a very long number, right? So that's make primary keys are very long, right? And that's why the indexing, if happening in database level, so that might be slower. So it might result into the slower inserts or updates, right? So that is one problem with the solution. So now let's try to improvise our solution. So always in the interviews, remember, don't just stick with one solution. Try to give solution, then give the pros and cons, then try to give a next solution which is bit better, like in terms of something, right? Let's see the second solution, which we can utilize for this purpose. So a second way is that we can use a database, right? Because we know that database has a auto increment feature. that gives you unique IDs, right? So you can see in the diagram that we have a central database that is giving a unique ID to each server. So whenever there's a request for any event ID, the servers are requesting to database, please give me a unique ID, and it's basically increments internally and sends back. It's a very good way of using the database property and get a unique ID for the events. But the problem here is that because we have a central database, right? So that makes it as a single point of failure. Because if the database goes down maybe momentarily, so it will be a problem for all the servers, and they will not be able to get the unique ID. So this is the problem for this solution, right? So there is one more flavor in this solution. Like in database, like we right in the previous solution, what happens that we were getting the IDs which were doing the increment by one, right? So we had to use like one database. But here we can have multiple databases. Like for example, here you can see that we have three databases, A, B, and C. Okay, so the thing here is that uh, the request can come to any database server, but they have a unique starting point. Like for example, database server A has a starting point from 1, B has 2, and C has 3. So they will be not doing the increment sequentially, like adding this plus 1, but they will be adding some number, maybe suppose number 3, because we have a 3 servers here, right? So suppose the previous ID created by the database A is 1, second will be 1 plus 3 is 4, right? That will be 7, right? So by this methodology, what will happen, there will be no collision among the unique IDs, even if we don't have a central database. So this is very good solution when once you want to avoid the issue of single point of failure, and you have multiple databases creating the unique IDs. So for that, you can give a unique starting point for each database server, and then you can just make sure that the increment is not happening by one, but it is happening by number of servers in the system, right? So that will give you a unique ID. But here also there is a problem, right? So in case right now we can see in our diagram, we have three database servers. So we are adding three to the previous ID for each server, right? But in case we want to add new servers, or maybe the server goes down, so adding or removing servers may be resulting into duplicate numbers, right? So this also at some point of time, it might not be unique IDs as such. Might be some collisions happening. So this is also good solution, but there should be some issues which you have to understand and also explain to the interviewer, so that they understand that okay, you know solution, you also know the pros and cons. So you are like thinking in all directions, right? So let's see a third solution that is using a range, right? So here, what we can do, we can have a range handler, right? So a range handler, suppose you have two servers, right, in your system, which can generate the unique IDs. So for the range handler can find them range, okay? Maybe for server one, it will say, okay, your range is 1 to 1 million sequence numbers, right? So you can assign these numbers to the event coming to you to process, right? And for second server, it can say, okay, your range is from 1 million 1 to 2 million, right? So we define the ranges for these servers, and it is assigned by the range handler. and it is suppose now here, if any server is being added, right? So that server requests a new range from the range handler. So that all the unique IDs which are being generated are unique, and we are able to. I mean, there is no collision happening among the IDs as such. So, but there is also a problem here. Problem here is that there might be the wastage of ranges. Might be you assign 1 to 1 million to server one, but server one went down somehow, right? So the time for which server one will remain down, that range is not being utilized at all. So there might be some kind of a wastage, but overall this solution is scalable, and also it provides you unique IDs for each event, and availability is also high because you can add multiple servers and there is no issue as such, right? So always remember, give answer in this format and try to give the various options and solutions, because as the architect we have to provide the options, right? And we should understand and also appreciate the fact that there is no solution which is like a perfect solution, because there will be some pros and cons for each solution, so that we have to choose like by using the our requirements, right? So that's it for this video. In my next video I will create like one more interview question related to the this sequence only, but in that I will try to see like suppose there are two events which are related, so how can we design that system, right? So for now, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Please leave comments or questions, and please subscribe my channel, and also forward or share these videos among your technical groups. Thank you very much.